All right, we are going to begin. We have our stage manager, Miss Amelia Benza, who I'm going to turn the mic over. She's going to talk through some of these effects.
So, I'm Amelia. I'm a senior here at Indian Hill. I'm also the stage manager, as Mr. Clark said. So we're just going to walk you through how we do a few of the things behind the scenes. So, starting with your chair. Alright, so... Alright, so obviously at the end of the show, our hands-up disappears. So we have him sit in the chair and he pulls the cloak over so you can't actually see any of it happen, and then our chair collapses.
There's this pin right in the center that keeps it stable while it's being set, and as the phantom pulls the cloak over, he pulls the pin out so it's able to collapse.
So it's going dark, so sorry about that. But so our two-way mirror actually works as this. It's a door that pushes open. And we have a light on this side that allows you to see Will. And that, you go to light keep there, please. Going dark. Yeah. So as our light cues go, it actually takes out the mirror. Can you go to light cue 1, please? Thank you. So basically, our mirror works with the form of just the light. When it shines on it, it allows you to see him, and then it goes off. So basically, he magically appears in the room, and then that does open. They just disguise it to look like the rest of the set. And then, Peter, you want to come out here and introduce yourself?
Thank everyone.
I'm a junior here, and you saw me, I was a dance feature today. You know, I switch out of this real quick. So I'm the one that drives the boat, and so I'm up there while they're singing, and then I drive the boat down and do a loop, and then once that's done, I get out from there, go over there, and then drive it back when the scene is over. I'm going to bring the boat out now.
Magically kind of goes off on its own. That is all Peter. Our robotics kids actually put together the boat, so that was Charles.
So Peter, if you give that a quick break for a second, I did want to point out. It will do donuts. Hi everybody, my name is Scott Kimmons, by the way. I did want to bring to attention that contraption right there. We found one down in Kentucky. They wanted a whole lot of money for the same thing, and I wanted to actually really point out that one of our robotics persons, Jack Taylor, came up with the underside of that boat. We built a steel frame for him, and then came up with a way to mount those wheels. He delivered that thing back to us, and then we had to turn it into a boat, but he did a phenomenal job with the undercarriage. Track meet, he's a runner, so he's always running every time we try to get home. You know, I'm not running. So, but phenomenal job on this stuff. Thank you.
Oh, and there goes my ASM. Say bye to her, everyone. Alright, if I can now introduce Alex, who is standing right here next to our wonderful fire attendant who is here to help us out tonight. So Alex is the reason we have pyro, so I'm going to carefully walk around this out.
some AB flash powders, just like photo flash powder, like they used to use for film. A little bit more refined, makes a little bit more of a pop. And then it's just smokeless gunpowder for the flame projectors. Real simple effects, but they look really good. And I have a flash pop loaded center stage and a flame effect over here, and I'm going to show you both of those.
Do not look directly at it. Like,
Yeah, do not look at that if you can't hear Will. Like, look at the stage, is not where he pointed. So yeah, those are our main elements. So we also have a self-playing piano. If my microphone will go up that. There you go. I give them a lot of directions. I don't know how they do it. They love it if you don't let me tell you. Alright, so in the scene where you have the 3 chairs here and there's a bunch of people sitting and singing and they're all complaining because their room isn't big enough. None of us have ever heard that before. I'm kidding. Well, anyway, we have a self-playing piano, and basically the way it works is it's off at the beginning. There's a magical little switch, and I'm not sure where it's located. Oop, and it just kind of starts playing. So it is battery operated, so the switch will turn on and on kind of whenever we need it to. So George Bell, who is our conductor during this scene, turns it on, and then our crew turns it off when they come and get it. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Ashley McCoo turns it on. I'm sorry. No, Ashley. So our battery and motor are actually located over here. Yeah. So anyway. Oh, and then our monkey. Landry, can you turn the monkey on, please?
here you go.
Thank you. So, alright, so our monkey is actually controlled by our lightboard operator up there, Landry, who's raising his hand. So, there's a monkey out in the lobby as well, that's on our organ, but this is basically the same thing, but just what we use during the show. So Landry throughout the whole show has to hear me say monkey on and monkey off a bunch. And so every time the monkey starts playing the Masquerade theme song, it'll actually start going. So yeah. Alright, if you give us one more minute, we're going to try to get a few more things. I'll be right back.
I'm not sure if we're going to be able to demonstrate it. We're seeing if we can very quickly. Our Phantom Will also has, if you saw the flame shooting from his hand, that is also a pyrotechnic device, and we threw it on the last minute. I don't know if they're going to be able to... Oh, we are? Okay. So you want to tell them really quickly about how that works?
So it's a little handheld device here. It's powered by a AA battery, and it's got 2 little buttons right here that are essentially like those cigarette lighters in cars. You just press in and it's the red coil that starts up. So we've got flash cotton and flash paper jammed down inside of here. So when I press the button, it shoots a little burst of fire. So really it's an excuse for me to play with fire.
Are there any questions? We have our amazing tech director, Mr. Scott Kimmons. We have Mr. Eric Samini over here. We have, of course, our pyrotechnic expert, Alex Hoppel. Any questions for them? Keeping track of sound. We have our sound people at the board up there. Kim, do you want to? That question because she's the one that is keeping track of that.
I don't know what the question does. I'm sorry.
How do you keep track of all the sounds back and forth? Who's singing what, when, where, how?
So I have a script up here, and I program the board to see who's in different scenes, and I basically, whenever I see that they're supposed to talk, I turn off the mic, and that's how it goes. We have a sound effects computer over here, who my assistant Brian O'Shea controls, but I don't know where she is right now. Yeah.
How do you make the fog? Okay, we do have a fog machine backstage. Do we want to do a manual cue?
Yeah.
The fog. There's a lot of different ways you can do the fog. I'll let Mr. Kimmons demonstrate or discuss it. There's a couple different ways you can do it. We decided to use a cool device for this show that was able to put out a lot of fog really quickly. He can tell you about it.
Typically, you will hear people either say that they're going to use either dry ice. We do have and have used dry ice in the past. What this device is actually it's a what's called a low fog generator. And if you look at it backstage now, this one over here, we don't need to keep going with that one. All right, and that one referred to as cramps because we had to be able to tell the difference between the two different types of fog. So we have low fog, and this is a different fogger. But what's going on over on this side of the stage is referred to as low fog, and it is a juice that is basically put through a large air conditioning unit. It's a very large unit back there that is cooling the fog juice down extremely low. What it does is allows us to run it for much longer, and it sticks around, as you can tell, as can be bear witnessed here by the people in the first 3 rows, for longer than normally dry ice would. So this is it's a longer lasting effect, and it was kind of a bonus. Our light designer, John Rehearsal, happens to also own a lighting company. And so when he came down to design our lights, he said, yeah, I brought along a couple of toys that I think we should play with. And so that low fog generator was one of those, so we were the beneficiaries, and we're kind of lucky to be able to get something like that. It is a very expensive machine, not something we would have been able to afford to rent for this kind of thing. So it was something that we got, it was a bonus for us. So. Some are built, but many of these costumes were gotten from all over. And I'm sure Grace would answer the question probably far better than I would. Grace, our costume designer, but I know that she was busy making trips to many different locations to rent, borrow. I'm sure she would probably use the word steal occasionally, but probably not. But we were adding it up back there. I said, when I was asking Grace originally a little while ago, I said, we got 838 seats in this auditorium. I said, do you think you've got a costume piece for each seat? And she said, no problem. So, there is, yep, I see it. I'm stumbling. But, so for her, the amount of costume pieces in this is immense. Most of the characters on stage are wearing several different pieces throughout the show, of course, several costume changes, and each costume can be made up of many, many, many pieces. So, but it's an enormous undertaking that she was able to pull off.
Wake up, Ray!
I music directed Phantom of the Opera at my old school at Fairfield High School back in 2008. And if you are Kings Island veterans, if you're very familiar with Kings Island, they used to have an attraction. I believe it's now the Scooby-Doo Boo Blasters ride. But it used to be Phantom Theater back in the 1990s, which I was on that ride several times. If you remember when you would come into that ride, if you can think back to the 1990s, there was an open room with a animatronic person at an organ, and there were 2 chandeliers in that room. That is a culmination of 2 of those chandeliers that we found at Kings Island that they did not use anymore, and then put together to create one ginormous chandelier. It had hung up on stage left at Fairfield High School since 2008, and it just was no dust cover. It was just very dirty. We had parents that came in to restring every single bead on that chandelier because we needed to redo them all. They were covered with just off spray from many years of tech jobs, from paint that just oversprayed that clouded and made the beads more of a black-gray color. So we had a team of parents, or I think some photos up in the lobby, that came in and we restring with some student help that came in on some weekends to restring, of course, taking care of new bulbs, basically refurbishing that chandelier. And it will go back to Fairfield High School. We're going to probably send them with a nice dust cover. One of our parents are probably going to make a dust cover for it just as a gift to them. But it actually belongs to Fairfield High School, and we were lucky enough to borrow it from them as well as this two-way mirror from when we did the production back in 2008. I'll say briefly from the vocal, I can say from the vocal choreography acting standpoint, and then she can probably talk about the text standpoint. I will say we had auditions in November, and we began rehearsals in mid-November, and had rehearsals pretty much 3 to 5 p.m. most days of the week. We usually took off Fridays, but those were a culmination of singing. Obviously it's an opera, so majority singing, some acting, and some choreography. We had our separate ballet corps where Jay Goodlett, the choreographer, came in to work with them especially for their ballet technique. But I would say from mid-November until now, it's been rehearsals most days of the week, and it is a big time commitment, but of course it's also a huge payoff. And I'll have Amelia talk about the technique.
Standing next to me are our master carpenter and our assistant master carpenter. And, sorry Harry, this is my ASM, everybody. And then Mr. Kimmons too. So basically, these three kind of constructed this entire set. We had tech crew members come in, but between the three of them, they were here every day, if not every day, and I mean literally Monday through Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like it's ridiculous. So in terms of time commitments, kind of like the actors, it's the same thing for us. We are here November through, well, tomorrow. So crew actually, we're here just about as much as the actors are. It does definitely differ in terms of where you are and like what part of tech you're running. So they're here like Monday through Sunday working on set. Harry and I were typically there Monday through Friday in rehearsals, unless it was vocal. Our lights and our sound, they come in and we had programming and we had hanging lights and all of that, and so they kind of can work on their own schedules, which is kind of nice, but don't let them. No, we don't. I hope that doesn't make you think they're not here just as much as the rest of us, because trust me, they are. Excuse me. So yeah, tech definitely is here just as much as cast is. The only difference is that while they're singing, we're kind of building stuff. So just kind of different in the way that we're here, but we're definitely all here quite a lot.
As the vocal music director here, it's something that I took very seriously before choosing this show, that we had the talent, especially from the vocal end first, again, because it is an opera first. Our facilities, we're very lucky to have such a wonderful community that supports the arts so well and make sure that they give us the opportunities that we have. Thank you. Yes, I would honestly say that I think it's important for a director to pick a show based on the students that they see excelling and not based on what the director wants. And I think this show, while it is a huge, monumental show in itself, I think we have the student talent here. And I think for me, it was trying to find ways to involve many aspects of the student body, from the French club to robotics to those students who do ballet, who maybe don't sing, but they take lessons and are always at a ballet rehearsal after school, to, of course, our many tech elements. There's just so much that I know our school does so well, we excel in so many things, so I just felt like this show was one of those ways we could get as much involved in. I don't know if you know, I think it's in the program, but the Sylvan Glade scene when the ballerinas come out, the set piece that comes down from the middle was our advanced art students' creation. The beautiful set piece. I don't know if we could fly it in, but it'd be awesome if we could. Just a gorgeous piece of art that was not rented, that was made by Mrs. Pfeiffer and the advanced art students. So again, ways to bring in the entire student body, I think, was one of my goals for this production. Absolutely, Michael, come on out here. Can all the tech crew come out, or are they all around the place? Michael, come on out. Some are in various places. Let's acknowledge all of our tech crew, please. Because one of the other things, as a musician first, I can't take credit for it. I saw a group that did this once, and I knew that one of the things that happens in most musicals is usually we'll have to look down to see the pit orchestra. And for me, this is about the music. Phantom of the Opera is about the music first. And I wanted to have our orchestra have a curtain applause moment from the get-go, which is why, even though it's very difficult for poor Mr. Barker over here, but we had that curtain call, and he's never looking at a single singer. There's no monitors. If you look behind you, there's no monitors, no way to cue the performers to make sure they're in sync. He's not able to give them that cue. So it's been a very delicate balance with our amazing musicians to lock it in with the performers who are backs to them the entire show. And so having that moment for the orchestra be seen too. So give them a round of applause. Go see the students. I know they're waiting for you. Thank you so much. And come back at 7:30. Tell a friend. We'd love to see you.